Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really fundamental. You know, those very first words we use when we meet someone, every single interaction, connection, it all kicks off with just a few key phrases.
Exactly. And our mission today, you could say, is to pull out the core ideas from what we know about basic English communication. We're aiming to give you a sort of shortcut, really, to feeling more confident, more clear in just everyday chats. And these aren't just like random words, they're the actual building blocks for connection in English.
Right. So maybe you're planning a trip or starting a job where you'll use English, or maybe you're just curious. Getting these foundational bits down it empowers you to start talking right away without feeling totally swamped by vocab lists. We'll go from the basic hellos to introducing yourself, asking where people are from, and even how to check in on someone properly. Let's really get into it.
Okay, so let's imagine you're about to meet someone totally new. Where do you start? It has to be the greeting, right? That's the absolute beginning. And in English, there are some, important differences, especially between formal and informal ways of saying hello.
Yeah, and it's not just what you say, it's really about when. You know, formal greetings are basically for situations needing politeness, a bit of respect. So you'd use them with someone you just met, maybe someone older or someone in authority, like a teacher or your boss maybe. It just signals you get the social setting.
And the most common ones are tied to the time of day, right? Like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Seems pretty straightforward. Mostly, yeah. But here's an interesting bit, something that often trips up learners. Good night. It's used differently. You typically say good night when you're leaving someone, like at the end of the day, or if they're off to bed. You wouldn't walk into a party and say good night.
Oh, okay.
You'd say good evening when you arrive, but then later when you're heading out, that's when you use good night. It's subtle, but yeah, important.
That makes sense. Okay, so that's the polite, maybe more formal stuff. But what about, just seeing a friend or bumping into family? You probably wouldn't say good evening then. So let's talk about the casual greetings, the ones for friends, family, people you already know a bit.
Right. Hello is kind of your all-purpose greeting. It works in almost any situation, really. Hi is a bit more casual than hello. And hey is definitely very informal, usually just for close friends. These little differences, they actually tell you something about the relationship between the people talking. It's part of navigating the social side of English. There are other phrases too, like what's up or how's it going? Very common informally. We can touch on those maybe later, but let's stick to the core greetings for now.
Okay. And if someone greets you like that, how do you respond? Usually just repeating the greeting back works fine, right? Or just saying hello or hi, depending on what they said.
Yeah.
Keeps things moving.
Exactly. Simple and effective.
All right. So you've said hello. What's the next logical step? Usually it's finding out who you're talking to. Names. Let's move on to that, exchanging names.
Yeah. The basic phrases are pretty direct. To ask, it's what's your name? As an answer, you can say my name is.
Yeah.
Your name, or just I'm your name. Both work.
And after you swap names, it feels really natural and polite to say, nice to meet you. It's not just being polite, it kind of seals the introduction, acknowledges you've met, and the standard reply is, nice to meet you too. Very common.
And sometimes, thinking bigger picture, you might need a last name. This comes up more in like formal situations. Work, maybe school, or if you're talking to someone significantly older, it often signals a need for a bit more formality, or maybe for keeping records straight.
So how do you ask that? Just what's your last name? And you answer, my last name is your last name. Or maybe introduce yourself formally right off the bat, like, hello, I'm your full name.
Exactly. Both those work. And another thing that pops up, especially for learners, is spelling. English names can be tricky, lots of different spellings. So knowing how to ask someone to spell their name is really handy. Shows you want to get it right.
Right. That's where how do you spell that comes in. You hear that a lot. Like if someone's name is John Annan, they'd say John, or Sarah, Sarah, Michael, Michael. Listening for those letters is a good skill to practice. Okay, so we've done greetings, we've done names. What's another common thing people ask early on, especially if you're in a diverse place, where someone's from, their background?
Yeah, absolutely. The most direct way is just asking, where are you from? And the typical answer is, I'm from country, or maybe city. So you might hear, I'm from Pakistan, or more specifically, I'm from Lahore. It's a pretty universal question, really.
And you could also ask, what country are you from? If you want to be really specific, I guess.
You could, yeah. And while maybe it's a bit less common in super casual chat, knowing about nationality is good too. asking, what's your nationality? And answering, I'm nationality. Notice how the word often changes, right? From the country name to the adjective.
Oh.
Like Pakistan becomes Pakistani, India, Indian, China, Chinese. That's a common pattern in English, using that adjective form. Worth listening out for.
And what about the difference between where are you from and where do you live? Is there a nuance there? Like if someone's originally from one place but lives somewhere else now?
Exactly. Asking where do you live is useful then. It helps distinguish their origin from where they're currently based. Someone might be from, say, Mexico, but living in Canada. So the answer to where do you live would be something like, I live in Toronto, or I live in Canada. It clarifies their current situation.
Okay, got it.